Hello, and welcome to a new career in the Kerbal Space Program with the uh, Programs and Launch Complexes mod. So this is basically a continuation to the RP-1 mod. And I'll go a little bit more into what is that for those that don't know about it. And well, this is Kerbal Space Program. I don't know how anybody would find these videos without actually knowing about KSP, but it's basically uh, space program simulator where you design your own rockets and fly them. That's the very basics of it. This is a heavily modded version, so this will be very different from the stock game, and I'll go more into that in a little bit for those of you that don't know what these modifications do. Uh, I will go into the reason for the name of the series. That's oh yeah, should be fine. It's no, let's remove spaces for the files. Yes. So these programs and launch complexes mod is being like called also realistic progression 2 or RP2. So yeah, from now on I'll just shorten it to RP2. And it's very management intensive. So I already looked through this, and I'm going to try to breeze through the whole thing setup so we can start designing and flying stuff quickly. Um, I'm not that big a fan of administration, but I think this does add another layer of strategy in how you design your rockets, so that's why I wanted to try this. I have to say this is very much a work in progress, so it might be a problem for the series, but let's test our luck. Okay, so first thing we're going to be launching not from Cape Canaveral, but from Woomera. I think that's how you pronounce it in Australia, and I'll give you my reasoning for that in a little bit. Basically, I'm setting up for myself some challenges in this playthrough. Originally, I planned to do this with normal RP1, but then I found out about this mod, so I'll have to see how will that work. That will work out, but let's try it. But yeah, I'll go into why Woomera later. And here's the meat of this mod. It used to be that with RP1, uh, there was no purpose for the administration building, and now it's everything. So you choose leaders for different things, and they give you a lot of bonuses. I have already looked through this so that I wouldn't take so much time. I just have to remember. Oh, and here you choose the programs. I'll go to it later. I'm not going to go through all of the options. I want to launch something in this episode. But we're going to go with Chilomi. I want the efficiency gain for the launch complex, and less confidence required for program activation. So this is the new resource for the mod. It gives you confidence, and you need that to unlock the programs. Programs are basically contract packs, and you get fundings for the program instead of for each contract. Okay, so I want you. Yes. Oh, and I'm already forgetting which ones I chose. That's bad. Nope, definitely not you. No technologies. Yeah, early and orbital rocket tech research lead. The downside is Catalog's engines tech research, which we're not going to worry about right now. We can change these people later on, so yeah, this is good. This is the guy I wanted. Yeah, I do want cheaper crew training. Oh, but I lose reputation. So now reputation actually does matter. The funding varies greatly due to reputation, so it's important. Actually, because I want to focus more on unmanned, so I was going to go for that guy, but I might change my mind here. Actually, no. I had changed my mind to this guy, to Barmin, because right now we're going to have to build a launch complex, which I'll explain more what it is. So yeah, we want him. Yes, we want the flight tech. Crew salary and crew training cost, but crew training speed. I prefer to save money and just start the training earlier. And we wanted, well, so I'm getting a lot of flight tech bonuses here. I will be focusing a lot of airplanes. And the second one was I think I wanted the engineer efficiency because it basically means how quickly the launch complex works, which is basically the vehicle assembly building. Yes, it was this one. Because I was tempted to go for the Lushin, also being a fan of the IL-2 series. But it does reduce the speed at which flight takes research, and I want to start with it, so no. Yes, I'm going to go. Okay, so now let's look at our programs. And the way this is set up, apparently you're going to go for explain research regardless and then choose either one of these. Early rocket development follows better from suborbital research because this one is this one plus experiments. So I think the, like, let's say preferred way to do it would be to first start with this, hope to finish it quickly, and then go for research. Okay, so let's. So yeah, basically we're going to get contracts based on this program, and apparently we will need at least 15 contracts to finish this, and we'll get some optional ones as well. They include breaking the sound barrier, breaking Mach 2, and passing the Karma line with an X-plane. And we're expected to do it in 9 years. It's nominal duration, so we don't fail it if we don't do it in 9 years, although it shouldn't be a problem. We just start getting less and less funding. And here it is how much funding we're getting each year. So it's actually also the thing of a conversation of if you finished early, especially like before year 7, you get a lot of reputation for it, but reputation here, you miss out on all these funds. So that's a thing to consider. But yeah, so this will be for 1960, finished before 1960, nominally. And then we want early rocket development. We also want to pass a Karman line, but this time with an unmanned rocket. Return from a suborbital trajectory, and the downrange milestones. Okay. Okay, so let's slow down here and talk about, for people that are not familiar with all these mods. So there's basically 4 big mods involved into getting to our RP-2. You have real solar system first, and each furthermore mod depends on the previous one. So for those that haven't even played Kerbal Space Program, I don't even know how you found this video, but um, the stock game actually takes place in a fictional uh, solar system called the Kerbal system. And yeah, the main thing is that it's like 1/10 the size of the solar system. So um, in Kerbin, which is the equivalent to Earth, you need like a 2 or 3 minutes to get to orbit, while on Earth it would take like an eight minutes. And you also need to be a lot more precise with the trajectory. So I think it was a good decision for the developers. It makes the game more accessible. Uh, but so yeah, real solar system just replaces the Kerbal system with a real one, and I would probably say not many people play just with real solar system because the stock parts are designed to be balanced with Kerbin and the Kerbal system, so they will be very underpowered for Earth. So then from there, it's Realism Overhaul, which yeah replaces the fictional engines from the stock game to real engines that have existed. It also adds a variety of fuels. Well, the stock game you have just generic liquid fuel and oxidizer. Here you have a whole different combinations of fuels and oxidizers with their advantages and disadvantages. And it also adds the behaviors of the engines. Uh, it improves the aerodynamics model, but yet it's mostly how rocket engines work and makes the engineering side of things much more realistic. Um, then there's RP-1, Realistic Progression 1, which made a career mode for the for Realism Overhaul. Um, for starters, you start with probes instead of capsules like in the stock game, which historically accurate and makes sense. It introduces time as a thing with Kerbal construction time. In the stock game, I think it's still possible. I haven't played stock KSP since I think before the beta, so um, but yeah, you could launch 10 manned capsules in a single day because it doesn't take any time to build a rocket. It doesn't take time to research anything, so yeah, you don't have to train your astronauts. And then RP2 is basically changing, like in RP1, you still have the generic uh, vehicle assembly building that is universal. Like you can upgrade it for being able to build more vehicles at once, but you can build a sounding rocket or a Saturn V in that same building. And in reality, with rockets being so big, especially later on, like the vehicle assembly building has to be designed around the vehicle it's going to integrate, and that's what this does. So for each rocket I build, I need to make an appropriate launch complex, which includes the assembly building and the launch pads. And the assembly building will be able to, I think right now it's mostly based on mass, but it will only be able to build vehicles of a similar mass to the one originally designed. So I cannot vary too much. And this is the part I find interesting, that I will have to be a lot more conscious about how I design the rocket, planning on for future missions. And once I have a mission, like how to plan it based around the rockets that I have, so I don't have to build another launch complex for it. Yes, so that's the main mods. There's a bunch of other things, but I'll touch on them when they become relevant. Let's go get a contract. So always first launch. And we want, I'm not going to go for crude just yet. So Carmeline. So the nice thing about this is we start already with some science, so we can start researching right away. And I think I'm going to focus research on planes first because I should be able to build a rocket with the starting parts that is good enough for this program. So let's see. Okay, so we want the procedural limits, definitely. We don't want a service model just yet, but so I'm not going to recover this first rocket, so I'm going to go for a nose cone. Let's not do a tank, let's just do a empty nose cone. Where's the procedural one? No, let's I might be having some ghost forces in the procedural tanks, so I'll stick to the arrow tanks for now. And so usually the normal start for RP-1 is to go for small aerobee sounding rockets, but I think I want to start with something a little bigger off from the bat so that I can just rely on this launch complex for at least the first program. And there's actually, yeah, so it's these two engines that I'm interested in. I want a longer burn time and efficiency. So this is 70 seconds. 70 seconds in a row. Not efficiency, I mean reliability. Here's the reliability. So one of the introductions from the realism overhaul mod is the test flight mod, which adds random failures to engines, and so each engine has a reliability that increases over time as you use an engine. 78 and 94. That's the lowest one, which is the relevant one right now. And 78 and okay, so this one is slightly more reliable, but apparently the RD-100, which I'm guessing is the Russian one, yes, has more upgrades. So I think I'm going to go for the Russian one. And we will also want fins, but let's deal with that in a little bit. So yes, I'll match the radius of the rocket with the tank because I don't expect to have to change engines for this tank. So let's just match the diameter on everything. Okay. Is this highly pressurized? No. Subject to ullage, yes. Can only be ignited on the ground, but no, it doesn't need highly pressurized, so good. Go for this, and then we want the 70 seconds. Okay, 70.9 seconds. I don't mind overburning it a little bit. Yeah, we want. Well, let's already get all the procedural wings. We will need them. I always feel like the thickness of the procedural wings, the default one, is just huge. Let's offset this so it's okay, and let's change a bit the color. How did I do that? I forget. I think that's in the other menu. I'm not going to add fuel to them. Recoloring. Yes, okay. And we want to spin stabilize this, so I'm actually want to check. Okay. I haven't tried this mod yet, but it will become relevant in a little bit. So is that the... Can I change this to just... okay, I'll fiddle with this a little bit later on. I just want some form of spin stabilization in this. Okay. And let's get a launch clamp for it. And no, the small one is too small. Let's go medium. And yeah, just the umbilical. We don't want symmetry for this. Okay, so this should be our starting rocket. We do want to add science to this. And no, what was the... yeah. Here, computer experiments. Which experiments do we have anyways? Just biometer, thermometer, and early film, which we cannot use here. Wait, what happened? None 2? What? Ah yes, there it is. Yes, we want the barometer. And thermometer, perfect. And we want to set up action groups. I'm going to try to be consistent with which actions groups I choose. So one will always be science. Start telemetry analysis, start pressure scan, start temperature scan. So those are the three we have. Telemetry analysis is always included. That's why I didn't have to add it in that menu. Oh, and no, that's not what I wanted to do. We want to add a range safety to be able to destroy the craft. Okay, so now let's just test this. to make sure everything is working properly. Simulate. Enable. Yeah, I want to make sure parts can fail. Because I think if you untick part failures, yeah, you don't really want the random failures in a simulation, but also if it's because the tank is not pressurized or something like that, I think it will skip that part failure, which is relevant in the testing. So, ooh, checking your staging. First problem, I don't know what it is that I'm fighting with the rocket sounds. I thought I had them fixed, but apparently not, so I'll have to fight with it again. This is frustrating. Because it's just part of the experience, like, like just hearing the from the rocket, but yeah. That's vexing. But aside from the sound missing, the rocket works fine. So a few things on the challenges I'm placing on myself. Well, like I said, if a rocket is unmanned, I will not control it directly. It will all be through the autopilot. I will exclude things such like things that can be done with action groups, or with just a simple like staging, like, oh, this seems like another time to run an experiment, just click run. Range safety, if I lose control of the rocket to destroy it, that kind of thing. Which is things that, yeah, in real life for mission control, you just need to send one quick command and it does it. But no steering of the rocket if it's unmanned. I'll probably also mostly use scripts to steer manned rockets, airplanes not so much. That kind of thing. So that's my first challenge. We have a very good app. Okay, so this rocket works. No reason to actually know. Why am I closing this? Well, let's just follow this. Follow it. Second challenge that I'm not sure how viable it's going to be with RP-2. It's what I wanted to do when I decided to start this. Before I saw that the RP-2 was available. I want to set it so that I won't be returning any Kerbals from Earth orbit with a capsule. I'll do it all with space planes. I'm not going to extend that to like lunar. I might give it a try, but to lunar missions and everything, because it just doesn't make sense. Well, I guess you could argue history has shown that also space planes in general don't make sense, but it's fun to try things out. But I mean, not going to take a winged craft to the moon. The wings are just dead weight for most of that trip, anyways. And or at least for the landing part, like for landing on the moon and such, I will use capsules. But yeah, I don't know how viable it would be to re-enter from the moon with a winged spacecraft. I don't know if the wings can take it, so I might give it a try, but I'm not sure. And I also want to try my hand at scripting an autopilot for returning from orbit with a winged craft. So we'll have to do a lot of experiment. I've never written an autopilot for a winged craft in KSP. So that's the reason why we're in Umeda. I want a lot of flat ground around the Space Center to learn to land airplanes using the KOS mod, which is the mod that allows me to script, to write scripts for for my vessels. I did a previous series on this with the KRPC mod, which it allows you to use Python, which you can do a lot more things. And I was actually trying to calculate the trajectories myself instead of using maneuver nodes. But KRPC hasn't been updated, and it does cause a lot of lag. And that was, I mean, I was failing at hitting the moon in that series, but the main reason why I decided to abandon it was because the lag was just impossible. So yeah, that's the reason for being in Australia. It does add another challenge though, that none of the desert launch sites are at a lower latitude than the inclination of the moon. So I cannot simply launch into the orbital plane of the moon and do a transfer from there. I'll have to either change my inclination or do an off-plane transfer. And I'm trying to see if I can do the math for the latter with the resources KOS provides, or do it in Python and just see if I can translate that information to KOS. Okay, we're going to just, I'm not very creative. I will give proper orbital rocket names, but right now it's just going to be SR1. So yeah, this can complete the contract. There's nothing else I want to do with this. So now let's figure out how to do the whole launch complex thing. Because so how heavy are we? 12. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the launch complex numbers like that. Like, this is going to be the absolute smallest this rocket will be, so I want to see if I can 16, and it's, yes. Height 14. Let's do 18. Have 4 meters of clearance. Sorry, I'm bumping the microphone. And the width, yeah, that's fine. It's mostly the pins, so it should be fine. Human rated, no. I cannot influence this. Let's actually be more descriptive. And that will actually, I cannot start building this until that finished building, so let's go back to this. Okay, I will do this later. So construction. I could do this, but 138 per day, once per day. And if we do this, ooh, no, let's, because I still need to hire people, so let's actually leave this at 100%. So here's the pickle. I could already start building an airplane, but I want the X1 cockpit for the bringing the sound barrier and such. Right now we have like World War II plane cockpits, the Stuka and VP-40, and the main thing is that for each cockpit you need to train your astronauts for it. So I think I'm actually not going to, even if it means having this space plane hangar idle, not build an airplane right now. Um, I do want to go into research, which means we should definitely focus on, yeah, we want this. Possibly a better engine, yeah. So we will start with this one. And this is the thing, now we have to, instead of upgrade points, like in RP1, you hire staff for different things. And staff obviously costs money, so apparently we already have 20 applicants. We want uh, how, okay, we're still good. And how did that affect the research? All the way until 1952. That's rough. Okay. Um, hmm. I don't like that it doesn't tell me what those. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the cost per day. Ah, no, that's the total. 10,000. Um, in 100 days. I'm trying to figure out how much money I'll have for. You know what? No, let's leave it like this, and then I want to put these applicants into the launch complex once it's built, and then I'll see how much money I have for building, for hiring more applicants. Actually, no, we have, we're still in the positive. It makes sense to be losing some money when building a launch complex. So let's do it like this. Let's do all of it. Oh, I might be killing the program before it even starts. Um, but now we finish this year. That's good. Yeah. Mm, okay, so I think now we can build a rocket. Staging, it's important. Uh-huh. Ah, yes, I forgot about tooling. Wait. So basically, tooling sets up a production line for this specific tank size and diameter. So it's an initial cost that makes it much faster and much cheaper to produce the next ones. And since I'm going to be relying a lot on this rocket, I need to tool everything that can be tooled. That's steep. That's steep. But one of the big changes for from RP1 to RP2 is that a lot of tech, money things, let's say, are immediate. So you accept a contract and you immediately get the funds. You complete it and you immediately get the funds. You build a rocket and it's immediately reduced. And RP2 works more with like funding over time. It's like you see the total cost for the rocket, but it's also including like engineer wages and everything. So it's more of a daily cost instead of a pay everything at once thing. Yes, so now we want to go to engineers. We're still in, how did we, yeah, because we're no longer building the complex. Oof, I can put 80. I kind of want to max it out, but okay. How's this looking? We're still in the positive, that's good. And 138. You know what? Let's go all in. 69 days. Good, good. I'm good with this. Um, and how is the research going? Good. Okay, so it looks like we have a real launch for this episode, and let's finish with that. I need to check the I have a script that I've been using for a previous rocket just to change it a little bit for this rocket. And be right back with the launch. Okay, so I'm actually an idiot. So it turns out the reason why I couldn't send commands was because I forgot to put electric charge in um, in the rocket. So usually I start with the LB sounding rocket unit instead of procedural avionics, and that one comes with electric charge. I decided to go for procedural avionics to make the rocket like a uniform, um, I would say, uniform width or diameter, and also to not have the experiments taking like like a sore thumb outside the rocket. So yeah, I have to roll this back, which means we just lost 12 days, almost 13. Okay, so actually if this is to be trusted, I need very minimal electric charge. I'm just going to put 20 units. I mean, because, yeah, just 0.060 per second, so even 20 is perpetual, but I don't feel comfortable putting any less, so yeah. Um, Staging is fine. Save it like this. Save edits. Okay. Here we go, and I forgot to action group the terminal, just that I don't have to look this up or right click on the probe core, but minor things. 01. And the silent engine begins. Yeah, I hope to fix that for the next episode. But oh, we're actually deviating quite a bit. Shouldn't matter too much. We have this one complete, and we have the Kremlin, right? Yes. Shouldn't be a problem, even with this trajectory-ish. Oh, okay, that is a problem. Oh, that's bad. Uh, don't mind the permanent contract so much. Like that's we have time for that. But this means we're not getting any science because you can only get science flying high, which is at least 40,000 meters. Range 50. What's a KSP video without an explosion, right? Okay, so it always bodes well for a series to end the first episode in a failure. But, I mean, we'll be a bit idle with the research, I think, but hopefully not too much. I'll go into the mission control to see which new contacts we have, and we will start the next episode either depending on what finishes first, if building a rocket or finishing this up. We will start with either the launch or the designing of the plane. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.